Hey darlings, and welcome back to Everything Tumbler Tutorials with Creative Vinyl Designs. So I know this is not your usual tutorial, but I have something very special in store for you today. I have watched many of these tutorials. The latest one that I've seen was like 10 or 11 months ago, so I'm really quite frankly trying to bring this back full circle because I really think this is a genuinely easy beginner tumbler, and I'm going to walk you right through the process beginning to end, okay? So what we're going to do today is it's the liquid crystal mood ring effect. Check this out. Yes, I did add the diamond dust epoxy additive just because I kind of wanted that galaxy appearance, but I didn't want it overwhelmed. So if this cup is solid and there's no action happening, it's a solid black cup. The base is solid black. That's what you want to do it on as well. And then we're going to apply, this is a 12 color. He has 12 or he has 6. I'm extra, so I went with 12. I really wanted to see any and all colors that I could possibly see. So this is kind of a do's and the don'ts. You do not need to mix this with any mediums. You do not need to mix this with water. You want to seal your tumbler with epoxy or enamel. You do not have to use Mod Podge. You do not have to seal it with the clear matte sealer that we always use. There's nothing to do. Once it dries, you can directly apply your epoxy and mix the glitter or not mix the glitter. That's entirely up to you. So here's what I'm using. It's an airbrush, which I also purchased from SolarColorDust. And he walked me through, which let me take this back a notch. I want to explain that the customer service that they have is phenomenal. My best friend, Mindy, thank you, Mindy. Shout out to you and your husband. They were actually down this past weekend for a Jeepin' with Judd's event, and that's over in Lakeland. Well, they drove over to Lake Wales to go to SolarColorDust store, which I was super jealous I didn't get to go, but they picked up all the stuff that I needed. Well, because we were originally going to go with a spray can mechanism, apparently they didn't have that, or they changed it out. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. But we obviously decided to go with the airbrush system. And because she was unsure if this is what I wanted, she called me. She FaceTimed me. And I got to speak to Wolf, who I did not know at the time was the founder and owner of the SolarColorDust company. So I was super excited when I found out that I got to speak directly to him, and he took time out of his day, like 10 or 15 minutes, to answer all these questions that I had that I wanted to share with you guys. So let's talk about this for just a quick second. If any of you have used an airbrush for your makeup, you're going to have a great gist of it. But those that have not, let me just explain. So you're just going to pop the top off. You're going to pour your liquid. No water, no mediums. You just pour your liquid directly into that, little by little, because you're going to have a chance to fill this up. But so you don't have to fill it all up. You don't want to have more than what you actually need. You're going to replace your cap. Pull this plastic off. Don't screw it, just pull it. Pull that right off. And okay, so he also explained that if this doesn't pull back like it should, this is probably too tight. So you just want to unscrew it and just loosen it up just a little bit. I'm not going to mess with mine because obviously mine moves exactly the way it should. So you're just going to turn it on down at the bottom. There's a little battery light. And then you're just going to basically push down and pull. Push down and pull. And obviously when the time comes, I'm going to take this piece off like I just showed you. So for now, we're going to close that, shut it down because I don't want to run out of my battery. Okay, so I'm trying to remember what else I might need to tell you. I'm going to have the link to the company in my description below so you guys can check all of this out. I will link you to the airbrush. I will link you as well to the bottles. I'm hoping you can see this. Like I literally just got this. I barely made a dent in that liquid, guys. And I did 10 sprays on this cup. Oh, not only did I want to thank Wolf and SolarDust SolarColorDust company for having incredible customer service. I also wanted to give a shout out to all of you guys. We are over 2,000 subscribers, and I could not be here without you. So I am so grateful to each and every single one of you. If you guys have any questions or you have any comments, please post them down below. I personally respond to each and every single one of them. I am so, so grateful. Feedback is also very welcome. So with that being said, we're going to take off this and we're going to get to the cup, which, by the way, I'm going to use a 20-ounce Modern Curve, which I purchased from Marshall Made Tumblers and More. I'll also have the link down below for that. So give me just a second, because I'm going to open everything up so that we have a cross breeze, because that's extremely important as well. It's just as if you were working with epoxy, you want to have a nice cross breeze or wear a mask. That's your discretion. I'm just going to open everything up and we're going to get started. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, we are back. We're back for the fun part now. So this cup is already prepped, as I stated earlier. We've got it solid black. It's ready to rock and roll. So all we're going to do is take and fill this up. Make sure it's shaken up really well. This. We're just going to pour some in. Because I already know that I'm going to do quite a few coats, I can go ahead and fill this up because it's not going to be wasted. When I get closer to the end, I won't put this much in, depending on how far this will go. So just going to pop that right off like I told you earlier. I've already got this spinning. Now we're ready to rock and roll. So I'm just going to evenly coat this, and then I'm going to hit it with the heat gun. You guys are probably not going to be able to see this yet. So you just want to spray, and then you want to make sure you have full coverage. And then we're going to dry in between coats, because we can really just move right along. So sorry about the noise. After this first couple of times, I'm probably going to fast forward so that you guys don't have to see this back and forth process. But I'm not going to be full speed, but enough that you guys will get the point and that you'll see. And then I'll stop the fast forwarding to bring you back, obviously, for the fun part, which is epoxy. Please note that I am a quarter of the way open. I actually was more than halfway open with my garage door and my back door, but unfortunately the cross breeze was just way too much. So I did bring it down to about quarter of the way. So I have plenty of breathing space going on in here, and it's not intoxicating at all. Just to be mindful of that. All right, here we go. This is coat 2. You want to be close enough that you can see that it is spraying your tumbler, but you do not want to get so close that you cause drips, almost like if you were spray painting. This is the exact same principle. Just wanted to make sure I got the bottom a little bit more down here. All right, now we're going to hit it with the gun. Dry it up a little bit. I can already see color with the heat. I don't know if the camera is picking that up, but I can already see color. So that's all the heat that's necessary for that. Let me just make sure I'm good here. Oh yeah, I'm solid. Okay, so this is going to be coat number 3. Once you start seeing your color shift happening with the heat gun, you're dry and you're ready for the next coat. I am also trying to stay as high up from the tumbler as I can. Excuse me. All right, this is coat number 4. Okay, this one is not going to need that many coats. When I did my first tumbler, I didn't even see this many colors happening just after 4 coats. So I might actually stop at 5 or 6 because this is really, really, really good. Okay, I think I'm going to do this one more time, and then I honestly think we're going to be okay here. So if I didn't fast forward, thanks for sticking around. I really thought I was going to have to do more coats, but it's looking very positive at this point that that's not going to be necessary. And then we're just going to hit this with the heat again. As you see, it's all black right now. Going to hit it with some heat. Now we're going to start seeing the greens and the purples and the hint of yellow and red. Yeah, this is a solid coverage here. That's excellent. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give this just a few minutes to dry while I prep my epoxy, and we'll be right back to wrap up this tutorial. Stay tuned. Okay, so we are back, and I think I realized why this one did much better than the one from last night, because our weather is, once again, Florida is wonky and it's very chilly, and the breeze is something else because we're due to have some rain here soon. So it's quite breezy, and I think that's why this is reacting better than the one from last night, because it was much warmer last night than it is currently. So I think that's why that actually worked in my favor. So with that being said, of course I added, this is way too much epoxy, FYI, and I did add a less than a ridiculous pinch. I wanted a little bit of that glitter. Ooh, and that breeze is chill. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this epoxied. I don't know if any of you guys are here from Florida, but oh my goodness, you guys can validate this weather and everybody is sick. Oh man. So the KS resin and the Pro Marine really appreciate the heat. They do not like cold weather. So it is going to take this cup a lot longer to cure. I mean, I don't know if all epoxy, it could be all epoxy. I don't know. I just know from Pro Marine experience and the KS resin experience that it does. When it's chillier, it takes longer to cure. It could be all epoxy and I'm just not aware of it. I haven't used Pro Marine, or not Pro Marine, I haven't used Aluminite in such a long time that I really don't remember. So here, guys, I'm literally just going to thin this out because I do not need a thick coat. So I'm just going to thin it out. I don't know why I do this, and I just don't just do a thin coat. This is just something I've done since day one. All this extra epoxy, that's a ridiculous amount, that's actually going to go into molds. Epoxy is way too expensive to waste. But I wanted a nice coat on there, and I think that looks solid. So I'm going to get my heat torch, and hopefully you guys will be able to pick up this oh so pretty, the colors changing. You'll be able to see it straight away. Okay. So let's see if the camera's going to pick it up. You guys see that? I'm just popping bubbles like I would anytime, and you can actually see the color changing. This is when I realized when I did mine from last night, like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Don't really have that many bubbles, but I also just like seeing the color change. But you obviously don't want to hit it too much and to the point that in which you're burning it. Got a little bubble right there. I'm gonna have to babysit. I can see. I'm really hoping you guys can pick this up. Okay, so just keep in mind this tumbler is going to be this tumbler. Check that out. It looks so cool. And again, this is the simplest cup for beginners. You watched me do it. Paint your cup black, give it 5 to 8 coats. Hit it, then just give it just literally less, basically enough time to mix your epoxy, and then it's ready for epoxy. Put your epoxy on there, add your glitter if you want to. You don't have to. And it's ready. I think all in like 15 minutes we have a done cup, literally. I mean, I guess I could have epoxied this because it's a smooth surface, but I didn't really want to risk it since this was the first one I've done. I didn't really want to risk something happening to it, so I just went ahead and epoxied it, and then if I wanted to put decals on it, it's ready now for decals. But I haven't quite decided what I want to do with it yet. So if you guys have any excellent, awesome ideas, please comment down in the description below and let me know what I could put on this. And if I take your idea, I will definitely take a picture of it and share it in my community post. And you'll get a shout out right there in my community post. So thank you so much once again for joining me with Everything Tumbler Tutorials with Creative Vinyl Designs. And until next time, stay tuned. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.